One of the most common questions about Transfer of Development Credits programs, or TDC programs, is how much do the credits sell for? It's a question that's really difficult to answer. In fact, it's almost impossible to answer in general terms. It's sort of like asking the question, how much does a house sell for? We all know that a house is going to sell for a different amount given different circumstances, different timing, it's in a different place, or different market factors. The same can be said of credits and the amount that they sell for within a TDC program. Now, having said that, the process by which that value is determined is common across all of the programs, and that's what this presentation is going to describe in brief, is that process. The first thing to consider is that the landowner within the sending area, the TDC conservation area, and the landowner, the developer within the receiving area, the TDC development area, are participants within a market. They represent a willing buyer and a willing seller coming together with a negotiation in mind. That's the basic process by which the value of a credit within a TDC program is determined. Some of those factors, like all markets, are determined outside of the program. They're set by the program administrator or regulator, and some of those are determined, they're set by activities of the participants within the market. So in this case, the administrator is generally a municipality. But to describe those a little bit more specifically, within the TDC sending area or the TDC conservation area, there's certain things that are handed to that landowner. When they are part of the program or their land is deemed to be part of the program, they're told that they have a number of credits. How those credits are, how the number of credits is determined can vary, but let's, for the sake of this example, do it very simply. We'll say there's a certain number of credits you get for every acre of land that you have. So in this case, that landowner would say, I have this many acres, I multiply it by the number of credits I get per acre, that tells me how many available credits I have. Now that landowner is going to give up something. There are title restrictions on the land that they provide as part of their participation in the program, and they receive compensation for that. What they have to do is figure out what amount of money seems reasonable given their circumstances and desirable for them to receive in exchange for that. They take that amount and they divide it by the number of credits that they would have available, and that tells them the dollars per credit, the price per credit that they would be seeking. On the receiving area side, or the TDC development area side, it's a similar kind of calculation, only in reverse. The administrator of the program provides to the TDC development area participant or the developer that there's a certain number of credits that you have to obtain for every bonus unit of development that you receive within the program. So for that developer, they understand that the credits per unit that are required multiplied by the number of units that they hope to gain as bonus units will give them a calculation of the required number of credits they need. They also do a financial calculation and say, well, what's the amount of dollars, what's the cost that I'm willing to bear that makes this worthwhile? And divide that by the number of credits that is required. That helps them determine a price that they would like to see, the price that they're seeking as the dollars per credit. So in summary, there are certain things that are determined by the administrator within the program. On the TDC conservation area side, it's the number of credits per acre, in this case the way that those credits are allocated, and the total number of acres that are going to be part of the program. On the TDC development area side, the administrator or the municipality determines the number of credits that are required for each additional unit of development or each bonus unit of development, and the maximum number of units, the total number of units that can be acquired that way. Armed with this information, that development area, TDC development area developer and the TDC conservation area landowner come together to negotiate a price for the credits and figure out what works and is acceptable for both of them given the calculation that they have made. That is the market determined component of this. Those two things together, the administrator determined components and the market determined components, help guide the creation of the value of the TDC credit.